Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zabby here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We are on episode 76, and it is officially the start of... Well, I don't know if it's officially the start of a new arc. I just know that it was the end of the Creed Island arc last episode. Like I said at the end of the discussion for last episode, I was like, I don't know if they're going to go down the route of having an episode off, so like it's just like it's not really based within any arc or anything like that. Regardless, it doesn't matter. We're in it's a new episode. So yeah, really the only thing that I really need to talk about in the pre-discussion is the fact that they used a transform card onto an accompany card, turning it into a restricted card, meaning that they could officially take it out of the game as one of the items that they wanted, and then using accompany to go directly to Jean. Or Jean, sorry. So yeah, I mean it's this is the thing. I don't. It doesn't necessarily have to be Gene. Considering he was the one that made the game, he could have easily just set it so that it would go somewhere else. I'm pretty sure he would have that capability to do that. So, that guy who's sitting next to the tree could easily not be Gene at all. And then we're still on this, this goose chase of Gon, trying to find him. So, I think that could very well be the case. But if not, either way, it's cool. You know what I mean? I'm fine with it either way. So yeah, I don't think there's anything to really talk about. We are just going to get into this episode and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 76. Well, okay then. I don't think it is just a sort of connective episode into the next arc. I think this is literally the beginning of the next arc. Whatever the fuck these Chimera ants are, I have no idea. But it's crazy. Like I was thinking that like towards the end of the episode, I was thinking that these Chimera ants, like maybe there's a way to sort of use their venom or whatever it is that they inject. Something with them, like to create some like superhuman fucking guy, and that would be like the villain. But it seems like the villain's going to be just an ant. I mean, maybe to say just an ant is a bit of an understatement, I'd imagine. But it's definitely different. Up until this point, like they've all been just other fucking people. But for it to be... damn. But also I'm thinking that these must be spread about throughout the world then. Because at the end there, the narrator was talking about like the Yorbian something or other, which I'm not really sure that's where Gon is. Because it seemed like it transitioned from wherever Gon was and then said over in the Yorbian sector or whatever the fuck. It seemed that maybe it like I wouldn't know. So Kite was the guy that was supposed who originally in the original anime was actually in there in the first episode, and now I'm thinking why didn't they put that in the original in this one? Sorry. Because I feel like that would have made this... The whole thing about it being a reunion... I was thinking, wait a minute, is it someone we've seen before? And technically, in this anime, no, it wasn't. Like, he's never been here. But if that's something that they did in the original anime, where they actually showed that whole thing with the flashback of Gon and the bear or whatever, I think they could have done that, right? I'm surprised they didn't. It would have been like a good flashback thing to be like, wait a minute, whoa, But I mean, well, okay. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter now. I tell you what though, I'm already liking him a lot. We had Killua at one point look at him and be like, a hunter that is that is respected by Jean, and because Jean's up there at the fucking top of the as someone who's respected by Jean, that's a big deal. It's like you're sitting in some in front of someone who's truly someone special, So that's cool. I'm liking them already, and it's like I was saying in the post discussion for last episode. I was like, well, with Bisky going, I feel like it's just moving on to the next arc where we'll have another one, and it seems that's going to be the case. I feel like when Kite asked if do you want to know where Jean was, I feel like if Gon was like, he wouldn't have done this, but let's say that he did say that he wanted to know where Jean was. I wonder if Kite would have refused and wouldn't have done that, because the idea is, I mean, well, at this point they should know, it's like Gon has to do this like of his own accord. Like he has to do it on his own. He can't do it with just by being told. Of course, he can get help with other by other people and the people around him. But at the end of the day, it has to be like he has to do this himself. I mean, the whole thing of Jean having the. I mean, at this point, so we know now then that he can program it to obviously certain things. I mean, of course, that would have been the case. Although he asked Eleanor or Ida to do it. I think it might have been I think it was Eleanor, because that was the one that he actually really kind of talked to. The one that when he was leaving, right? It is interesting that he had two different things set up, where a company would have taken him to Kite, which means that theoretically, like, Kite wouldn't have had to have entered Greed Island at all, right? Because in the game you can only really accompany to somebody that you've met before, right? So and we know that Gon hasn't met. Oh no, well, actually, no. Yeah, I mean, he has met Kite before, but I don't know. Maybe in the real world, like, let's see, I'm saying all this stuff, and it's like, well, it is in the real world, but I mean, like, previously it would have to take place within the game sphere, wherever it is, on the game island, right? You couldn't do it with like outside unless you actually, I guess there's some thing where Eleanor changes the zeros and ones like I was talking about within the items and the cards in order for them to be used outside. Otherwise they just wouldn't work, I think. So because she allows you to go get back out, right? Any other time the cards just wouldn't leave. So yeah, but I mean, it's interesting that within real life, would it have worked? Like for example, so Kurapika hasn't gone into Greed Island. Would Gon and Killua would have been able to use a company to Kurapika because they have met him on the outside and they were using the card on the outside? Is that the way it works? I don't think it is, because we literally had a scene where Jean was like, if he does a company, he was saying that it must go to so it's like he programmed it regardless. I was thinking, like, when it was going through the episode, that because he took Kite in there, that I was wrong about the whole thing of Duon, right? How Jean changed his name, like, legally, and then I was thinking, oh no, he changed his name, like, as the in-game name thing. So then I was thinking that maybe he had changed, he specifically changed Kite's to Nig because it's an anagram of Jean, with Gon thinking that this is how it would work. And the fact that he could have just completely like passed all of this, like not probably have to go through the next. I mean, I don't even know, because I know that the show sort of ends abruptly. I don't even know if he even gets to Jean within that time. I don't know. But it's like he could have surpassed it just by getting magnetic force. But the reason why he wanted it to is because he wanted him to go there by himself and not have anyone with him, which I don't know what he means by that. Like, is he a coward to come by himself? I don't know the deal with why he truly like wants that to be the case. Maybe because in the final stretch of trying to find him, he wants Gon to do it by himself. Like, he wants, maybe that's it. It's just crazy that he could have just literally gone there if he had to use magnetic force, that's damn. Yeah, that's mad. So yeah. So when they were talking about like the Chimera ants, Kite said that it was a class 1 quarantine. And I feel like that's what Kite was guarding, and that's what he's trying to quarantine. Because it seemed like Gon didn't even realize there was an anthill there, and until he stepped on it, it sunk in, and then that's what disturbed some of the whatever. So I don't know if Kite was there to sort of keep it quarantined, or he was in the middle of. It seemed like he was in the middle. I can't remember what he said, but it was like he was in the middle of doing something, like he had to start something all over again. If these anthills keep popping up, maybe it's he's in the middle. It's like his job to stop them from, to eradicate them. Maybe that's the thing. But then we have the big one at the end, like the queen, who is trying to give birth to a king. Incestual ants, everybody. I mean, I wouldn't even think that. I mean, well, clearly they're going down some kind of route of I don't know. Maybe the king's going to be the fucking villain in some regard. I don't know. Maybe that could be a thing. If it's going to give birth to a king, maybe it needs one of the ants to inject somebody, and then that turns them into a king. So it's not like they become an ant, but maybe they get ant-like properties, but they're still a more human kind of villain. Because I would find it weird if it's the villain is just a big ant. It seems a bit odd, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like maybe it was Kite's job to sort of go around and eradicate them, but you can't just do it all in one thing. Maybe he was in the process of doing something to more maybe stop it. Maybe just taking out anthills isn't the way to do it. Maybe you've got to I don't know, plant something that seeds them to stop them from growing and making play. I don't know. I love Kite's fucking slot machine thing. I mean, it's a bit fucked, isn't it? If you can't get a certain weapon at any one time, you have to rely on the slot machine in order to get you there. It's a very risky thing, and it seems like he has to do it in order to get a weapon out. It's very, very interesting. I was thinking he was a manipulator because it was the one that controls animals and stuff. Though I feel because I was just thinking, oh well, it melds with seemingly his personality of liking animals and stuff. But then I was thinking, well, if that's the case, then maybe he wouldn't want to control them. And it seems like he was talking about how a good hunter, and talking about how they always have respect with animals and stuff like that and things. So he could be anything, I guess. But yeah, Kite's fucking. He's got to be way up there, as a quality hunter, considering the fact that he managed to find Jean. I mean, Killer was asking that, you've got to have some. He's got some merit, Kite, I think. So yeah. And then he was mentioning that Jean is a triple star hunter. So now I finally know what it means. So it says Gera's done something real fucking I don't know if we'll ever get that information. I don't know if we'll ever get what he's done, but it makes sense as to why Genthru now was a bit apprehensive about Sezgera, because they don't know like what his qualities were, because if he's managed to do something like really on a scale like that, then he must have something about him. But he was a single star hunter, and Jean is up there as a triple star hunter, which there are fewer than 10. I thought at first, because the subtitle kind of flew by, and I only saw 10. Obviously I went back and I made sure, but I was thinking, like, I thought it said like 10 others, so I was thinking that maybe it was the rest of the guys that created Greed Island, but I feel like no, because if it was ever to get to a point where there's a villain that has to be on Jean's level, like, I mean, eventually it would have to get to that point, right? So, you know, I feel like if that is the case, then it would be one of those that are fewer than 10. But yeah, that's cool. So it's like anything that has any real like global impact, or something of like real significance that they have done. And I wouldn't have. I think we will. If we ever get to a point where, you know, go and meets Jing, then I'm sure we'll get this information on what he's done. It's, you know, such like an accomplishment. But then, like Killua was mentioning, that there's some sort of super form of Zetsu that you can have where, I don't know, but like, because it's to conceal yourself, right? Now, so does that mean that there could be a point where you can conceal yourself to the degree of like going invisible? Like, is that possible? And if that's the case, then you would need something similar to like Gyo, maybe not that exact thing, but have that to be able to see them. I wonder. Yeah, interesting. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I've got nothing. I mean, I'm just shocked at the fucking big ant thing. Damn. Yeah, I mean, we saw the ant. It looked, from some angles, it looked a bit fucked up. I mean, that's, you know, we can gather that based upon, you know, the fact that it was saying that, oh, I can't move and I need to stay here and like recuperate and stuff, and you know, but it looked like from one angle like its arm might have been chopped off or something, and we don't know like what has happened there. I don't know. My theory on it though is that whatever the king is, that's going to be the villain. I don't know if it's going to be a case of like maybe the king eats the queen, because, you know, there's some in like nature and whatnot. What is it that I think it's spiders or something, isn't it? I don't know if ants do it though, where like the queen, in order for like one to take over the queen's position or whatever, like it has to eat the thing. You know, and if the queen can't move but can give birth to a king, and then that's, you know, whatever. I don't know. I feel like that's the possibility though, just because I can't envision just a big ant being the villain. Like, I know it talks and everything, so it's not like just an ant, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm expecting. That's all I'm saying. It's fucking crazy. It's nuts. But I'm excited though, because, you know, within one episode I already like Kite. And I have a feeling he may be my favourite mentor. I just have a feeling about him. He's a pretty cool dude. Pretty cool geezer. You know, not to disrespect Wing or Bisky or anything, because I like them as well. But, you know, he's just cool, isn't he? So yeah, right, well, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there. And I also have a link to my Patreon page as well. I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me on there, that would be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday, as opposed to the general public that only gets access to 2 episodes. So by the time this episode is available to the public, I will have, you know, God knows how many reactions of my Hunter x Hunter, you know, fucking reaction series. I don't know where I'll be. but I'll be very far in. Put it that way. I don't know if I'll be finished, but you know, you can binge watch the lot of them. Okay, so yeah, if you want that, it's the early access tier. There's also full length tier there as well, although it doesn't affect Hunter x Hunter as of now. It may do for future episodes of Hunter x Hunter, but for the other shows and stuff like that, you know, if you want to watch them in full length, then you'll have to get that. And then there's other tiers where you can pay to have like a certain show reacted to. So if you want me to react to a certain show, then you know, go have a look at those over there as well. But that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.